All right. Come over here, Kelly. Can you stand right there for a second just to make sure I'm in the frame? Am I in this frame? Hello, everyone. We have gotten ourselves together. We got better tech, so we're gonna be more upscale this week than we were the last time. I am so excited to bring into the frame Taha Azal, who is originally from Pakistan. Taha is a junior, senior? Junior. A junior, majoring in computer science, data science at Augie. We're so excited to have him as our cultural chef today. Taha, what are you going to be making for us today?
I'm planning to make chicken curry today.
All right, he's making chicken curry. We're so excited. Thank you all so much. I'm looking at all the cameras because we got multiple cameras going. We're so excited. Taha, pretend the cameras don't exist. We're going to ask you a billion questions, but you cook, you do what you need to do. You got everything that you need, and we're going to be sitting up here asking you your whole life story.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to come around. As always, we got Brent and Patty. Okay. Hello. We got Brent. Say hey, Brent. Okay. And we got Patty.
Hello.
As always, our camera person, Callie.
Hey.
Woo. We are excited. Okay, Taha, the floor is yours. Tell us what you are doing.
Well, today I'm just making chicken curry, and I'm going to start with chopping up the onion. Just get ready for that. The chicken is deep frying, so after that we can use that. I don't know if it's in the frame or not.
Do you have any advice for folks when they're chopping their onions to get it just right?
I mean, anything works honestly for this dish, but the finer they are, the better it is.
Yeah.
They could be cubed or sliced with really thin and fine slices.
Did you say you're boiling the chicken?
No, it's just deep thawing, so it was in the freezer for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And getting the ice off of it.
Okay. And we don't want frozen chicken. So did you come to Augustana as a freshman?
I did, yes, 2 years ago in 2018.
Okay. Have you gone back home at all?
I just went back home in December, so this past December.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first time in a year and a half.
Wow.
It was quite fun. And that's when I really got the recipes from my mom to cook all the food.
Oh, okay.
Because initially I thought I'd be just eating at the cafeteria most of the time, but when I went back home, I really liked how much it makes this food. So then I just got the recipes. And I practiced a little bit over the summer.
Patty, you're looking very intently over there. He's just chopping onions.
But so well. Plus, I'm praying too that it turns out good.
Okay, I'm sure it will.
I don't think I need to be praying. Come back to the States for spring semester. Were you here for spring semester last year?
I was, yes.
Yeah. And how did you choose Augustana?
That's a good question. I was applying to a lot of colleges on that common application. And then I think you can apply to 20 colleges with one application.
Okay.
So towards the end, I was looking to fill in those 5 remaining colleges that I still could apply to. And then I was looking at like smaller private colleges, just to get, like a more sense of community in a university. And obviously I happened to be one of them. And I applied, and the admissions counselor, Philip, was just so good at helping me and answering all of my questions that I really felt that, that they wanted me here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was, and the scholarship offer was pretty good. So based on all those factors, I decided that August would be the way I would be going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And I
that,
haven't regretted it since. It's been great.
Good.
Mhm.
so that was probably Philip Mulder,
That's
who
correct.
was an Augustana grad as well.
Mhm.
Are there other students at Auggie from Pakistan?
I'm the only full-time student, but the IREX and UGRAD send some like exchange students, like for a semester. So I really get close to them, and
This should be
that's, I think. But we do have a lot of students from like South Asia in general. Not a lot, but like that I know, like close friends with me, and that really helps, honestly.
So you're chopping up a whole bunch of onions there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing this dish uses a lot of onions.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't watch the last one, I really love onions.
There's a question in the chat. Is chicken curry your favorite dish to make?
Am I cooking my favorite dish tonight? I
Yeah.
am, yes.
Ooh. So we had a question in the chat for my YouTube folks. Somebody asked him on Instagram, is this his favorite thing to make? And he said yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is, how many onions is that?
This is like 3 like medium-sized onions.
Okay.
Taha, my breath is gonna be humming after I eat all this chicken. What's your least favorite thing to cook?
I experimented making rice, and it did not turn out as I wanted to.
Wait, rice?
It was like sticky, more sticky than I would want it to. So
Okay,
maybe-
so I'm gonna have to teach you the rule that my mom taught me with making rice.
Mhm.
Because using a rice cooker is cheating, guys. Let me look in the
Oh,
camera.
is it?
Using a rice cooker is cheating. So you have this part of your finger. When you put the rice in the water, the water should come up to this part of the line in your finger when you put the water in. And I am a southerner. Here's another thing. Add butter to the rice as it's cooking so it don't stick. Use either jasmine rice or Uncle Ben, but they changed the name to Ben's rice
Did
to be
they?
more culturally appropriate.
Okay.
So my mom used Ben's rice, Uncle Ben's rice. I use jasmine rice, or like my Hatnama does like a rice that Basha. I know I'm not gonna pronounce this
Can you
right.
spell those things?
It's like BAS. I don't know. I'll put an image of it in the chat. But that's the rice I use, and we add butter to it, and then of course we add the salt. Then it doesn't stick.
Mhm.
So yeah, you
I
use.
think people have different sized fingers.
But that's how much, like from the water from here to here, that's how much should be up there. We have it's an inch.
It is?
Yes.
Maybe you'll have to show me.
You
once.
stick your finger in there, and then when the water comes to the line, that's how much water you should have over the rice.
But that's what inch and on you, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
We are more the same than we are different.
Woo!
Okay, what are you doing now?
I'm just preparing the chicken now, so I'll cut it into smaller pieces,
Okay.
so everyone gets at least like 1 piece of chicken.
I also like chicken.
Yeah. And the chicken pieces like should not be too small or too big, because if they are too small, it will just like dissolve into the curry, which is not good.
Oh, okay.
But if they're too big, they will not like cook properly, which is also not good. So this should be just like just the right size.
Awesome. Now we talk about cultural differences,
Mm-hmm.
In my culture, we wash chicken before we cook it.
Mhm.
Do y'all wash the chicken before
That's
you
what
cook
I
it?
just did, yeah.
Yep, he washed the chicken. See, don't let people fool you. You wash your chicken before you cook it, okay? You do not pull it out the packet and put it in the pan.
Oh, yeah, no.
Wash your chicken, okay?
We have another question from Instagram for you. So what's your favorite Pakistani dish? And they said halim, if I'm saying that correct?
Halim is really good, yes. I love halim, but I cannot make it. It takes like hours.
Ooh.
And then they also asked about, I think it's Sikh kebab.
Sikh kebab is really good, yes. I mean, I can't do that either. 'Cause you need a lot of stuff for it.
So that person seems to know a lot about food. So it sounds like they need to be a cultural chef one day. So we're gonna take note of your name and we're gonna get you in this kitchen, okay?
Can
So-
I guess who that is?
Who do you think it is?
Is it Streeter?
I'm sure.
We're gonna look because we're gonna get your name because you're gonna come cook.
What are those dishes that they mentioned?
Halim is like lentils, but
Okay.
more like, thicker lentil soup
Okay.
that you usually eat with like toppings of ginger and like some spices. Usually goes, some people like eat it with bread or with naan. Some people just eat it, like on its own.
Okay.
It's really good. I really like halim. I wish I could make more things than I can, but I'm getting there.
You're doing
With
great.
time. And you have to experiment. Like a lot of my cooking started with just experimenting because I would just watch my mom in the kitchen.
Mhm.
Like my mom is from like the old school generation. Like, nope, only one person in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And so even though we would sit and watch her, like we weren't really in it. She didn't want us in her way.
Mhm.
So, but I paid attention, but then I still like, added my own little flavor and other little stuff to it. And so now it's so funny. Like sometimes she'll call and ask me, well, how do you do this? And I'm like, oh, well, I use this as opposed to you. And so she's like, oh, I never thought about doing that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to, before like coming here, I used to help my mom, like, cut some like vegetables when she was cooking. I mean, I tried my best. I didn't do much, but I tried to, because I think like cooking is a skill that everyone should know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did that.
But we never know when the zombie apocalypse is coming and we have to be in the woods.
Yeah.
I don't want to live on beans and berries.
Mhm.
I want to be able to, okay, there's a rooster. Go catch it. Let's cook it. What's your favorite childhood memory growing up in Pakistan?
That's a good question. I mean, I think my school life was pretty good. I'm still friends with a lot of people from my school, and that was like the time, like when you didn't have like a lot of responsibilities, you just like go and like study and hang out with friends and do all kinds of like things that kids do. So
Yes.
So I miss a lot of that. But I think this is also like good, like getting footstep or door in the foot as an adult, like just living on your own independently, doing part-time jobs, and I think spending time with my family was also like something that, I mean, still I talk to them almost on a daily basis,
Mhm.
but like FaceTiming them is not the same as being with them and just have them like see you doing random things. Yeah.
Do you have other siblings?
I do have two younger brothers. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm the oldest one.
Are you trying to convince them to come to Augie too?
I don't know what their plans are as of now because one of them just started university in Pakistan.
Oh, okay.
And the other is like not even in high school yet, so he still has some time to decide. I mean, if they come here, that'll be good.
You have favorite restaurants that you like to go to when you're back home in Pakistan?
Yeah, I love like street food. It's
Ooh.
just so good. I don't know what they do with it, and you cannot replicate it either.
Oh,
It's just like, you know, it's magical food. There's a lot of like outdoor restaurants that you can go to. Like they'll have like wooden, I don't know what they're called, more like tables, but like covered with carpets, and you know they have like circular like pillows to like rest on and like open air outdoors. So that is pretty good. It's like, you know, sitting under the open sky while the traffic's like going by and just eating some like good spicy food. Those are good questions. I like that.
So Taha, you are very involved on campus. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you do on campus.
The first thing that I can think of is that I'm a VA
Ooh,
in the
okay.
freshman dorms.
Okay, talk a little bit about that job.
So that means I'm just like a residential assistant, as it is called in other universities here. So I help, like this year at least, help new students who are coming into Augustana just get a feeling of home and, you know, make a sense of community for them, make sure that they get like all the things that they're looking for, and just have, you know, their movement experiences as smooth as possible. So that's my job, and I really love that. I'm also involved in some clubs on campus. The prominent one I can think of now is the Hult Prize, which is a business competition hosted by the United Nations. So we do like a smaller version of it at Augustana, and then the winning teams like move on to the regional rounds and the national competitions and then international finally. Yeah, other events or like programs that other clubs on campus do as well. I really enjoy going to them. Like the UBG events are really fun. Just like spending time with my friends, and you know, it's different in the COVID world, but I don't miss a lot on that. So you get to experience the same things for the most part.
And you're also a peer mentor, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And you work.
I don't think of it as a job, so I didn't.
Oh, well, that makes me feel good. I mean, I don't ask them a lot.
Yeah, I'm a peer mentor, so I'm helping students from like systematically like non-dominant groups from around the world and around the US, just making sure that their college experience is just as good as it was for me, and even maybe even better. And if there's something that I can help them with, you know, find their way around on campus or make connections, I'm always there for that. And just to learn about, you know, other people's values and cultures and traditions and what they like to do. This is so much fun, just talking to people that share or not share experiences that is the same as you. Yeah. You can watch the chicken one more time.
I feel like I'm in like a fancy kitchen with like a top-notch chef, like just making me like private food.
yeah.
Ooh.
I bet this is what it was like for them when they transitioned to COVID and they still wanted to do their shows. They were like putting the camera together, making it work. And
I was like, we getting it? I was nervous about how this would turn out. I mean, just the whole program, but just the amount of information that we've had to learn about people and just, you know, what makes them them and, you know, what makes them happy and what things make them feel comfortable. It's awesome. It's just so cool to learn about the differences and okay, I was just making sure we weren't on fire. The differences and
You see smoke or
yeah,
what?
I do see smoke.
Oh, you do?
Um,
How is it just smoke? Is that okay?
That's a good sign, yes.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Okay,
Heating up.
Well, that is a good sign.
yeah.
So now we can add the onions in this.
Well, I really invested in that pot and pan, so.
It's a fire detector there, right? That's good.
Yeah, I think we got vents somewhere, but I
I
don't know
wonder
where
if
we went.
that's what that's for.
Or is that, I think
The
that's
one
what,
switch that I was trying to.
that would have been for the garbage disposal, but I don't think the garbage disposal is
Yeah,
turned
That's
on.
probably it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
if we have to, you can always open the door.
Do we also have like a piece, like a cloth that comes like all onto this thing?
Here's the thing, I did, but I think we mistakenly threw it away last week.
Oh, okay.
In all of the bags that we threw, I mean, the other week. If so, somebody look in the box. Patty, can you look in the box over there? If not, look at one of these drawers, Brent. Let's see Brent, y'all.
Oh.
Another question.
And then some behind you.
Yeah,
Is it true that the germs in street food are what make it good?
that's absolutely true, yes.
But tell that person it might be like, you know how when they say like the hot dogs in New York are delicious because of the water. And it's just like, oh, it's that grimy New York water and the hot dogs are delicious.
So in the meantime,
Yeah, this would work great.
don't
Yes.
start that on fire. But it'll help.
The other question, do you miss roux?
Do I miss what?
Roux? R-O-U-H?
Ruafsa.
Ruafsa. Oh yes, yes. That's like a. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a dense sugar like drink that you like add water to it and drink it. Like you can also like add some lemon into it if you want, and it's really good. I like that. This is so refreshing because especially in the hot summers in the city that I'm from, Karachi, it's just really hot. So like when we get that, sometimes it's just really good.
Oh, it looks like the vent is on, so I think we're good.
I think these are the out vents though. I don't think there's a,
It would be one of them maybe.
yeah. Nope.
Patty's over here giving us mood lighting, but I think we good.
The folks at home can't smell this, but it smells delicious.
It
already.
smells so good.
Yeah.
Imagine that smoke is all of the amazingness, and we get to eat it, and y'all
Her
don't.
favorite. Yeah.
Yep. We
We're
get
gonna
to
get some comments on that.
Yep. So when y'all cook this at home, you have to let us know how it tastes. Because I'm gonna put the ingredients and everything, instructions down below. What's happening?
It just looks so good.
Are you also on Instagram? Are you on YouTube?
I'm on both.
You on both?
I
Awesome.
toggle back and forth.
Y'all, we can start a production company. If all else fails, we can turn it on.
Well, that your positivity is shining through.
I have positivity too, and this.
No, I'm talking about your streaming thing.
So what was the chicken that you used? Was it
That
from?
means something.
Yep.
Right.
Bring it over this
Like, what
way.
was the part of the chicken that you used? I see it.
Is it still
It was just
recording?
like cold
It should be on the
chicken.
recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm talking about on the from the thingy,
Over here.
that button.
Something like
Oh, okay. So that means it's working. I guess. I don't know. We'll play with it. I'll let you take it home since that is your camera, and you can play with it. So we got a lot of tools, folks, as we figure stuff out. So Callie is working with this really interesting, it's like a stabilizer. So, but she's gonna take it home and practice with it for 2 weeks.
Did my biceps workout.
For the next one.
You know, what are you putting in there?
I think I need a spoon
Oh,
for
you
this.
would like a spoon?
If it's not there, then it's definitely in the big box.
Okay. You want a little
So
spoon?
that would work, yes.
Just one more?
So this is just like plain yogurt. So I'm going to add that to the chicken. I already added in the onions. And this kind of replaces adding tomatoes. It gives it more of a, like a curry taste and, you know, like a curry texture to it. Also helps with the chicken to be cooked well. So there goes the yogurt.
So does your mom make it this way?
She does, yeah. This is her.
Okay, this is
her
her secret.
recipe. Mhm.
Because some curries are like tomatoes and then,
Mhm.
is it condensed milk or is it,
It's probably yogurt, I think.
is it yogurt?
Mhm.
Okay.
Let me know if you need more, paper towels.
I think this is good. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. We should not let the other student put burn on
You should not. I don't think that would go well.
No, we've done.
yeah.
You're not.
Mhm. It was all Patty's fault.
And then this is
All right,
the
hold it
most-
up, hold up the box.
Yeah, so this is the most like best ingredient, the most important one in this.
Oh,
And this is
oh.
like all the spices. So Shan is a company back in Pakistan that they make like spices, and this literally like saves college students and, you know, like people who cook at home just like so much time, because all the spices that you need, all the seasoning is just like mixed into this, and you just like add however much you want in your dish.
Oh, can I see your box?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm curious.
Can you buy it in Sioux Falls?
Yes, there's a store in Sioux Falls on 41st and Marion. So that's where I usually go and get all the spices and all the other things.
Okay.
That's what I got, like all of this actually, like chicken, the yogurt.
Oh.
Maybe if it was not for Shan, I might not have been cooking today.
Oh.
Because it makes it like everything so easy.
Because without that, you would have to buy all those spices individually, right?
Yeah.
And that is expensive, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Y'all know how much a bottle of Lawry's costs? Jesus. I put that on everything.
And the good thing about that is that it also has like instructions on the back, and that's what I follow most of the
Oh.
times. And it just really helps you. I think I will now just cover it and leave it for about like 30 minutes for the chicken to be done.
Okay.
And I'll set a timer here. Do you have a lid for this in the box? I'll go check.
Well,
Oh, it's right behind
it's
you.
behind you. All right. So, is that it for the chicken? While we wait on that, so we can chat with you a little bit more?
See if this has instructions.
Yeah, you're good.
When you first made this, did it come out right the first time?
It did, yes. I first tried it with my mom when I was back home in December. So she really helped me and was like, you know, supervising me kind of. But when I first started like on my own here, it was fine, I think. I mean, I ate it, I loved it.
So last night I got the opportunity to go to the African student, I think you kind of off the slide over. There you go. Last night I got to go to the African Student Union hosted a program, and I promoted your cooking tonight.
Mhm.
and someone said to me, they love when you cook. So I'm guessing you cook a lot and that you invite your friends over a lot. Talk about that.
I mean, I love to cook, and I mean, I'm trying to get my cooking skills better and better every time I cook. And I think what goes hand in hand with that is just inviting people and to just like, have a dinner with me and also just like chat and catch up with them. And that's what I usually use, like the time to cook or time to like get dinner for, just like catch up on people and like learn about everyone else. I love to. I mostly made like chicken dishes in the past month or so, which my mom didn't approve of. So now, the last time I cooked, I made some vegetables. Just today. And now we're back to chicken today.
So do you cook in the residence hall?
I do, yes.
Okay, which building are you in?
I live in Berg, so the freshman dorms,
Okay,
and that's where I usually cook. Yeah.
so you cook in that Bird Chocolate kitchen.
Mhm.
All right. Are there pots and pans down there?
I do have like my own pans, and I have like a cabinet that I put all the stuff in.
Okay. That's great.
The only thing is that it sometimes takes a little long to cook than maybe you would want to spend. So that's why I usually like cook on the weekends and just like portion out food for the rest of
Oh,
the
you
week.
meal prep.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
I do the same thing.
This makes it everything easy.
Mhm.
It's like heat it up and eat it whenever you want.
What?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
So if y'all don't know, Patty loves Uncrustables. Patty,
Yes,
how did you fall in love with Uncrustables?
this is a really good story. I'm so glad you asked. Are you gonna listen to me?
I'm listening, but I just turn the camera so folks can see. Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Okay, about 10 years ago probably,
okay.
I went on a 30-day, not a 30-day, 3-day walk for breast cancer.
Oh, 30 days.
It was only 3 days,
Okay.
but it was 60 miles. We walked 20 miles every day.
Oh, wow.
And I walked with a girlfriend, and there were first aid stations and things there. Well, one of the things that they had was Uncrustables, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And it was what I had in my lunches when I was a kid. It was great. So I kind of got hooked on them.
Patty buys them by the boxes, like multiple boxes at a time.
I don't know.
Did it like remind you of like home and like your childhood and like
Yes. And I walked with with my best friend. So it also reminds me of that.
mhm.
Aw.
So it's all just sweet.
Thanks for sharing that, Patty.
You're welcome, Willette.
You know, if y'all could smell this,
Oh my.
oh, you would be in the heaven that I'm in right now. And you know I'm gonna make me some rice for later and throw some on top of it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think it goes equally well with rice or with naan, which is what we have today.
Okay.
So we just reheat the naan that I also got from the same store. And
And you said this store is on 41st?
41st and Marion. Yeah.
41st and Marion. Okay, okay. You know, I gotta venture outside of Hy-Vee. It's Sunshine Foods.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Brent, what do you like to cook?
Lately I've been making. I've really gotten hooked over the past probably year on like curry baked chicken thigh that I make, and then I usually like throw together some vegetables and have dinner out of that.
If you are ever looking for white broccoli, or as other people call it,
I do
cauliflower.
eat a lot of cauliflower.
He eats a lot of cauliflower. So if you are ever in need of cauliflower, find Brent.
Yeah, past month I haven't been eating as much cauliflower, but you can make like I've been trying to like not have potatoes and not have some things that are like unhealthy or starches. So I you can kind of make, now, it's not the same as mashed potatoes, but you can kind of make a mashed potato-esque thing out of broccoli by cooking them and then taking them through a food processor and then adding some oil or butter and then seasoning. So it kind of, it's you know, a play off of what a mashed potato would be, but it's definitely not the same. So there's ways to experiment with food too if you're, you know, trying to start some healthier habits, or if you're trying to kind of figure out what, you know, what you want out of your life too. But it's fun to experiment. And I'll say this like too, and I don't know if Taha would agree. I like, when I was growing up in high school, I made like quesadillas in the microwave. Like that was my thing. Or a pizza in the oven was like all I could do. So I think, you know, as a lot of y'all that are on here are eating your meal plans right now, and you have that advantage in college, but as you make your way out of college, or as you get an apartment and different things like that, there's ways to gain those skills, even if you don't feel that skilled right now. So I graduated from making quesadillas in the microwave, and I'm glad that I have.
Ooh.
Still a good treat.
Callie, what about you? What do you like to cook?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll learn me. I will say I am not someone who enjoys cooking. So I try to make it simple. So I really like home chef meals getting delivered to me, already pre-proportioned
Okay.
and has a lot of instructions. But other than that, I like to cook a lot of things in my crock pot. So chili, chicken dumplings soup.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to cooler weather and getting back to some of those type of meals.
Okay, I enjoy a good soup, so you gotta,
Yes.
I want some.
Will I have just one more moment?
Yeah, yes, of course.
I do cook too. I don't just eat.
Yes, Patty does cook.
Easy.
We just like to pick fun. She cooks.
The best potato salad. Have you ever had potato salad?
I've had potato salad, yes.
I make the best. And soups. Callie, I'm really good at soups.
So what's your secret to your best potato salad?
She can't tell us.
Is it
Okay.
more mustardy or not mustardy?
A little bit of mustard.
Does it have raisins in it?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, some people put raisins in their potato salad, and
I also make
don't understand
really
why.
good fudge.
Oh.
And I do have a secret for that. And that is that you have to scream occasionally. My mother used to get so praised when she would make fudge. You know, I kind of have to do everything quickly.
Mhm.
She'd get really stressed. And I swear every time there was screaming in the kitchen. So now I think that's part of the ingredients.
So it's just
when
like
my
add butter, now scream.
when my grandkids are there, I'll say, okay, now we need to scream. And we scream.
I like that.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
that is very funny. So now I want Patty to make some fudge so we can do a collective scream.
Oh, yes, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be.
Taha, when you were in Pakistan, is the place you come from
Mhm.
a city or a town or?
It's actually the biggest city of Pakistan
Oh.
and the most like populated city.
Mhm.
There's like a lot of people there. And when I heard about like Sioux Falls, that's what I like learned about Sioux Falls too from Augie's website, that it was the biggest city in the state.
Yes.
So I thought like something similar to what it was, or like Karachi is. But this was like quite smaller. Like we have about around like 23 million people.
Oh my
in
That is not Sioux Falls.
There's not even 1 million people in South Dakota.
Yeah. But now when I think about it, I think I like this like quiet and peace, and not as busy, like more over because it's just so congested, and like a lot of traffic and a lot of like air pollution because it's an industrial city as well. So it's like a lot of movement all around, like 24 hours a day.
Have you been able to travel in South Dakota? Check out any other areas of South Dakota?
I did go to my roommate's home. I think it's like It's Mitchell, South Dakota. It's like a smaller town than
The
this.
Corn Palace.
Yeah, we stopped by there. I went there, and then I worked at Joy Ranch last summer. So that's a water town in
Yeah.
Florence. So I was there for 3 months, and I've taken some trips to the IPO outside of South Dakota as well, to like Minneapolis and to Omaha. And then I went to my friend's house in Iowa. That was really good.
Great.
So you went to the Corn Palace. I'm like from that area. I live in a small town near Mitchell.
Yeah.
What were your expectations, and then what were your honest thoughts of the Corn Palace?
I mean, as we were driving there, my roommate told me that it was just like a palace made out of like corn. So I mean, I could not imagine like how could that building be made out of like corn. But when we stopped by that, it was quite impressive. I was amazed. Yeah. It was good. We took like a couple pictures there and started on our journey back.
The thing that, because you didn't get a chance to go inside,
You know,
people, like, there are people who get so excited about coming to the Corn Palace, and then there's a basketball court in there. So that's a unique feature of South Dakota. The Corn Palace with the basketball court in there.
That's where I did dance competitions.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I only got to pass by it when I was going someplace in Mitchell. It shall not be named. This is like a perfect aesthetic, like directly behind you.
Mhm.
It's like a picture. Picture perfect. Mm-mm. So Patty has to leave us. We're sad. But Patty is double booked. She got to go to Sunday school on a Thursday. So she got to go to Thursday school.
Thanks, Taha.
Yeah, I'm glad you could join. Yeah, thank you so much for
I
coming.
really want to eat that food.
I think we might be able
But
to
it's
save.
not-
We'll save you some.
Oh, gosh. Okay, no peanut butter and jelly tomorrow then?
Just, yeah, outdoor distance.
Still bring your peanut butter and jelly,
Okay,
but
just in case.
we'll save you some.
Thank
All right, everybody say bye to Patty.
Bye.
Thanks, Patty.
Bye.
All right. How we doing, Taha, on our cooking?
We're good. The chicken is cooking now.
Okay.
I still have to stir it occasionally so it doesn't like stick and on like on the bottom of the pan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's going the right direction.
That's good.
Mhm.
We would think for it to go the opposite way.
Yes, yes.
That'd actually be pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. What were you nervous about coming to the U.S. by yourself, or do you have other family here?
I do have an aunt that lives in Chicago and an uncle in like Virginia and New York, which I first came to the U.S. in 2016 for a robotics competition at NASA with my high school. So that was my like first like interaction or like first like closer view of the U.S. like outside of the new movies and everything. So I really liked that, and that's when I thought I would like to come to like the U.S. for college, and I started my preparation on what I really wanted to like study, how to apply, what I need to do to get here, like start college here. And it was a big leap in faith, just like go to a different country, like with so many like different cultures and different like things. But I think I like it just being like independent and like doing my own thing, and also just having to like access to because the US is the like the hub or like the technological hub in the world.
Mhm.
So that's why I think with my majors like computer science and data science, that's like even nicer to just like study and get like a closer view from like the industry and just like learn about that. So yeah, it was a big leap in faith, but things have been going well so far with some ups and downs occasionally on the way, just as in life. But I like it.
Yeah, it takes so much courage to. I always admire students who do their education abroad, because it's such a leap of faith. It's very rare for you to be able to get the chance to like do a visit in person. So you do your research as much as you can, and then it's kind of the decision you make, and then you make the most of it. So
I mean, if I was studying like back at home, I might be doing like equally well like academically, but I think the interactions that I had with people here, the experience just to like learn about a different culture, about different like family values and like, all those things, that is something I think that's the part that's like most like in the United States, and how things go about here like on a day-to-day basis, the political side of it, the economical side, socially, and then all those things that I would not have experienced if I was not here.
That's awesome.
So we do have a question kind of talking about traditions and holidays. Erica Kim asked, what holiday do you miss, or do you celebrate in Pakistan that you miss celebrating?
Ask that again.
So the question from Erica Kim is, what holiday do you celebrate in Pakistan that you miss celebrating?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, so we have like a combination of like religious and like national holidays, like Independence Day and like, other religious holidays like Eid, which is like a festival after Ramadan and after like people have performed the pilgrimage at Makkah. So I think like the Eid after Ramadan is the one that I usually miss the most, because that's when like families like come together, like like other family members home, and just like just have a good time together, eat and make a lot of food, and just see and catch up on people that you might not have seen for a long time, just like call up your friends and just have like a social gathering, like share food with one another. And the other Eid, which is like after the pilgrimage, is when you sacrifice an animal if you are like able to, if you can afford it, and then distribute the meat like towards the poor and the needy, the ones that, because like having access to meat, I think it's more difficult, or like because of the economic, like the cost of it. So some people like wait like a whole year just for that holiday, so they can have meat. So that's like one of the other holidays I really miss as well. Independence Day would be the national holiday that I really miss the most, because I mean, as when I was younger, we used to like decorate our whole house with like small like paper flags, and like have a bigger flag that was waving outside, and we would like so excited to like put them on. But then it would always rain the night of the Independence Day. So
like in America, for some reason.
So all those like effort would kind of like just go down the rain, but it was just like so much fun, just like doing that with your cousins and brothers, and just decorating the house and celebrating that passion of like patriotism. Yeah, that's really what I miss.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, thanks, Erica.
My watch tells me 10 more minutes, so the chicken's still cooking.
So it has to be like boiling the whole 30 minutes? Okay.
Just so like the spices can like soak in the chicken and everything's cooked.
You all, like, this smells amazing. Taha, this kind of reminds me, we do this thing in my culture called stewed chicken. Is it stewed? Yeah, stewed chicken. And it's kind of like you boil the chicken and your onions and your peppers and all of these things, and then you make your homemade chicken gravy. And usually you lay it down over the rice. And that's what I actually think I'm going to make for mine. I'm going to do some either stewed or smothered chicken. I think I'm going to do stewed chicken. But it's just so interesting that, there are similarities among cultures, but it's vastly different. Like there are other elements and ways that we do it. Like for instance, like you have like all of those different spices. But like for me, like I'm gonna use, there's gonna be butter. You better believe it. There's the salt, the pepper, the Lorry seasoning, the Creole seasoning. I put garlic powder in everything, onion powder, actual onions, and all of these things. And then when you're making your flour, your gravy, you add a little bit of your stuff, right? Your flour in it and all of this. But it's so interesting how there are dishes that are similar, but they're very different in taste and in that little added extra bit of love that we put in it. So culture is so unique and it's interesting. Hence why I love learning.
Yeah, well, this summer I was making like some lentils. So when I made some, and I was living with a friend from Ethiopia, and he was like, we make it like exactly the same way. This like tastes the same, and the spices are the same, and they even like call it the same thing as we do. It's called misr. So that was just really amazing to just know, because I would not have thought that people in Ethiopia would be making the same kind of dish with the same ingredients as I was. So just knowing that, we're so similar in some senses, but also like different in other senses. So
It's good. Y'all, folks, I wish you could understand how ready I am to eat this. Friend, how you doing down there?
Doing good.
Doing good? Doing good? Now, are there any dishes similar to this in your culture?
I probably should know this, but I was the one not in the kitchen because I'm like the baby of the family, so they thought I'd always burn the house down. I mean, we make a lot. I feel like goulash is a thing. I feel like growing up on a farm, not only from like our German culture, but just from the fact that we had cows and we had access to those things. We had milk cattle for a while. I think having some sort of beef was part of our culture just because of what my dad did as a farmer. So I felt like that was a very common base of everything that we did, whether we were making a goulash or hamburgers or tacos or just kind of anything like that. I felt like we were always having a beef of some sort. I know for me personally now, I tried to transition over to having turkey instead, just because it's a little bit leaner. And a turkey burger, by the time you put the lettuce, tomato, and everything on it, doesn't taste all that different. And that's, I think, the cool thing about, like, while I don't think there's a lot of dishes that I am making now from my culture, it's kind of cool to know like what my family made and then like how I can make it my own. And I also enjoy like learning from other people who use different spices, because for most of my life, salt, pepper, and butter were the three spices, and I know butter is not a spice, but those are the things I felt like we used all the time, and just being able to incorporate different things into what you're cooking is kind of cool.
What about you, Callie?
Yeah, growing up, I would agree, yes, we ate a lot of beef, the things with hamburger meat. Hot dish, there are lots of different types of hot dish. I feel like that's a Midwest kind of concept. But we've been recently trying to learn more. So my mom's side of the family is Norwegian, and so we've been trying to learn more about how to cook some of their favorite Norwegian dishes, and mostly like cookies and more sweeter things. So that's been fun recently. The last few holidays we've been trying to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to learn more about, how to cook some of those things so that we can pass that on.
it's also amazing to see like how like in cultures, like within cultures, like people make the same things but using some different recipes, and some recipes are just like handed down like generations, and some are just just on the spur of the moment, just like put things together and make something up, and it always turns out so good.
Hmm. That's like in my culture, we have, it's called perlo rice. Some call it chicken bog. If you're in the Myrtle Beach area, they call it like the chicken bog. But where I'm from in the low country, we call it perlo. Some people, I mean, we all add different things to it. Like for instance, with our perlo, of course, chicken, different sausages from breakfast sausage, sausage links to andouille sausage. Some people add bacon, some people add fatback, and we call it butt meat because it's the salty butt of the pig. And then some people add chicken feet. I never add chicken feet to mine. And so many other things. And it's just, all I know is it's delicious, but nobody made it better than my dad, man. And so, yeah, so I had a cousin, I kept asking her, will you teach me? She was like, nope, I can't teach you how to make it. You got to learn to make it on your own. And so I would just eat everybody's and be like, okay, this is what I think's in it. This is what I think's in it. And then finally, I perfected my perlo. So much so, like when I go to Texas to visit my brother, they always make me make a big pot before I leave so that they can have. When I'm home with my mom, Willette, make us a pot before you leave. So, yeah, it's one of my things. I'm excited that was one of my dad's best things to cook, that I ended up being able to cook as well. So, exploring.
That's life achievement, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. And then I live on the coast, so we eat a lot of seafood.
Mhm.
A lot. I would love to make a low country broil so bad, but I can't find like fresh fish or fresh crab legs and shrimp and all that. It's all frozen. So unless you pay like $1,000 from Sam's Club, but yeah.
Yeah, growing up, like food like that was like fish sticks, which is not the same as like seafood that's fresh and not flown miles and miles away.
Yeah. We would go to the fish market to Mr. Williams, and we would get our fried fish. Either he fried up for us or we get it and we take it home and fry it up. Williams Seafood in Greenville, South Carolina. Oh, that's one thing. When I go home, when I do get to go home, I'm going straight there. That's a couple of places I can't wait to go to. Okay. When it ends, we'll just add it back. Start it back.
Oh, to the end.
Well,
There's like a limit on
yeah, you
Instagram
usually,
Live.
unless you have like one of them big time premium accounts,
What's the limit?
I think it's like an hour.
So what I'm hearing is we need to work on getting a check mark.
Yeah, we're gonna get that check mark. Yeah, it's definitely an hour. So folks, if we end, join us back. We're gonna re-add it. We're gonna go ahead and end it and we're gonna restart it. If anybody can hear us, the people that's watching. So we're gonna hit end and then we're gonna come back.
All right, you went away.
Can I turn this so you can see it?
There we go.
So if you would make this dish with vegetables, like what vegetables would you normally use? You made the comment earlier about your mom, like wanting you to use vegetables instead of chicken.
Yeah, I meant more in the sense that just like make like more like vegetarian dishes, just so like eating healthy. So I made some fried rice last time. Those had a lot of vegetables in them. It had peas and corns and beans and carrots. what I usually do is like freeze my stuff like for the week. So it's like a little hard to freeze like vegetables. They don't last as long as like chicken or meat does. And I also like chicken more than vegetables, so that's also.
That is why your mom told you.
But now,
I'm the same though. I love chicken.
Mhm. I make entire meals, no vegetables.
There are times where it's like 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm hungry for chicken, and I shouldn't be.
Why not?
I got a new
Whatever
deep.
food you want at any
I
time.
mean,
I got a new deep fryer. I can fry you up
Chicken
some.
and waffles. That is a breakfast food.
That is true.
Onion on it. Ooh.
Mm-mm.
I thought as you grow up, you kind of realize that vegetables are also important, but maybe it just stays with you.
I just think sometimes we just be looking for the main parts, like the meat and the starch. We don't think about vegetables. Now I do love a great thing of Brussels sprouts, and asparagus and collard greens. But first of all, I'm not just getting like already pre-cut collard greens. It takes so much to make collard greens. I gotta get a bunch of collard greens, wash them, clean them, cut them up. I need a ham hock. I need fat back. I need all of these things. And it takes like so long. So I only make it for like Thanksgiving or Christmas. Yeah.
I got a little piece out of that dish just to see if the chicken's done, and it looks like, yeah, almost.
All right.
Maybe 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you that like some dishes like take like super long to cook. And like as when I was younger, like I used to like come back from school and my mom would be like, I'm cooking. And then I just like made the comment that, oh, I don't like this. But she spent like, 4 hours making it. So now when I cook, I realize that like it takes like so much like to like, come up with one dish. Actually like thinking about it on a daily basis, like what do you want to cook today? Because that's, you also need change, but you also want to keep a healthy diet. It takes a lot that you don't realize when you're not cooking, but as you make your way to cooking, that's when you realize that how hard it is to just keep up with all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think cooking is challenging because I'm cooking for one. So like it's hard to like get variety, but then at the same time, like if you're cooking for so many people, there's a lot of time and energy in constantly doing that every day for folks with families. So yeah.
So thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry. Every time you made mashed potato, I said, I don't eat that.
Yeah.
And you had to make me a pot of rice because I wouldn't eat. Yeah, I grew up where if my mom made mashed potatoes, she knew she had to make rice because I wasn't going to eat it.
Oh, that's like my favorite food.
Oh, so you would eat the rice instead of mashed potatoes?
Yeah, and they would eat the mashed potatoes, and then I would eat the rice with my food.
That's literally, if I had to say like 3 top foods, mashed potatoes would be one of them.
But I like them now. Oddly enough, I like mashed potatoes, but I did not. It's a recent like for me. Like, I'm not talking like 10 years, like maybe 3 years, I started eating mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Your taste like changed too, like as you grew up. Like I did not like mustard as a kid, but now I would rather have mustard than ketchup on anything.
I also did not like barbecue chicken growing up. For some reason, my mom was like, "Why don't you like this?" And I'll never forget the first time I actually had barbecue chicken, and I was like, "I like this." And it was okay. So in the Black culture, when someone dies, we have this thing called a setting up, and that's where people come and visit you in your house. It's almost like in the Jewish tradition of Shiva, but it's just like for days and days up into the funeral, people come and hang out with you. And it was at my grandma's sitting up. My uncle Henry, made some barbecue chicken on the grill, and I ate it, and I was like, "This is the greatest thing ever." And my mom was like, "So you eat barbecue chicken now?" And I was like, "Yeah, why didn't you tell me it was this good?" And I mean, I'm surprised I didn't get thrown out the house, but I was like, "Oh, okay, I like barbecue chicken now." It's me in life.
Mm-hmm.
Randomly I like stuff, randomly I don't.
Yeah, sometimes you just like, don't try things because you think you will not like them, but when you actually like try it, you like it, and then you're like, oh, I did not eat this.
I'll pretty much try anything once.
Oh, this is the best part.
Oh,
Yeah.
If y'all
This
don't
is-
see.
Yeah, this is naan. It's like pre-made. We just have to like heat it up.
Okay.
That makes it really easy. So that when like the oil separates from the rest of the curry, that's when you know when it's done.
Okay.
So you can see like the oil is separated. So now I can go ahead and turn it off and just like let it stay here. That looks so good. And then some people like also add like tomatoes to it or like green pepper or like green chili just to give it like a little bit of like taste.
so Krishna is on. She asked if you would make this with paneer for her sometime later.
I would love to, yes. I'll just have to like find paneer and then we can do it, yes.
Yeah, you heard it here live, folks.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
That's a promise
Krishna.
to Krishna.
I miss seeing you. But I'm sure you're off doing great things.
I think she'll be back soon.
Ooh. Is your pot getting hot? Okay. If you have to use the bigger one, I would
The
understand.
bigger pan.
The bigger eye.
What do you mean?
Oh, is your eye getting hot for that? Is it on?
Is it this one, right?
Oh, let's come around and see. Oh, there you
That's
go.
right, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm used to like using the actual like flame, the gas.
Oh,
stove.
yeah. So yeah.
So this is like really hard, but I know it's like, more safe than just using gas.
Yeah. No fires, man.
Mhm.
Had to get a whole.
It's also different than what you're used to using in Bergsacher, because I think the stove, I think it's a bigger stove
Mhm.
than the one that I have in my apartment, but it's
Coils.
the coils,
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
which works just the same.
Mhm.
Electric versus gas. When we moved into our new house, my mother did not like the fact that her new stove had to be electric, that she couldn't have a gas stove.
Mm.
Mhm.
And we was like, it's okay. We save on the gas bill.
I would love this in my apartment because it's so easy to clean. The coils are not as easy.
Yeah. I need to like soak mine and get them all in the pans because they're really.
Oh, like the pans or,
Yeah, I
yeah,
like
the
the
catch pans, yeah.
Not this one.
Yeah, sometimes I let them go a little too, little too long, that the catch pans, I'm like, ooh, I may need to soak them in Coca-Cola or something that can kind of eat away at the.
And you should wrap your catch pans in aluminum foil.
Oh, that's smart. I didn't do that.
Just wrap it. It looks like a pancake.
It's delicious.
So when you're eating like outside on like an open sky, under the sky, like a restaurant, like street food, they just bring it out like right out of the tandoor, which is like like a oven like built inside of the ground. It's like a hole and like wood's burning underneath. So it's the best when it's like right out of that tandoor.
Mhm.
But I mean, this works too in so fast.
Is that kind of like, is it smoky in there too? That like, does that give the naan a different flavor, or is it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because I'm assuming that would taste slightly different than what you're making here.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm just gonna switch to that one because that one's bigger.
Larger eye. So naan is just bread, right?
Mhm.
Is it unleavened bread or just traditional?
I mean, that's what like a lot of people who don't like make naan like or like bread at their homes just go to a like a tandoor and just like buy it, like naan from. I don't know what it contains, but and there's like different kinds of naans too. So some people have like garlic on it and onion toppings with it. Some have like cheese filled into it.
Well, according to the internet, and this might not be necessarily accurate to your culture, it says naan is more moist and tender than like a pita bread
Mhm.
because the added ghee, which is like a butter
Mhm.
oil, and like soybean or canola oil, which increases the total fat to 10 grams versus 5 in pita.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But ghee is really like ghee's used a lot in
Mhm.
cooking, so.
My family usually like collects like cream from the milk because we get like fresh milk every day.
Mhm.
So we like separate the cream out of it and then like store it. And then once it's like, enough, then you make like ghee out of it.
Mhm.
Like it takes a long time of like collection and then, just stirring it all the time. And I don't like the smell when it's like being prepared, but it's like really good and really healthy once it's done. So whoever wants to go first, I think can grab a plate and then have some
Do you want to
curry.
start?
That's on you, Brent.
Oh, gosh. Alright.
I'm giving this naan.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
Woo!
And then, do I just take a scoop out?
Mhm.
Okay.
The less oil you get, the better that is.
Okay. I do want some of those onions though, because that
Mhm.
looks really good. I'll just take that for now. I'll just set this here,
Mhm.
because y'all are probably gonna want to wait on the bread.
Yep. And so then I'm guessing you sop it up with the naan.
Mm-hmm.
I feel all this pressure.
All right, we won't record you eating. Or do you want us to?
I don't know. You can, it's fine.
Okay.
I feel like usually during lunches, sometimes I'm on Zoom calls anyway, so.
Brent liked it. Ooh, ready?
I'm trying to get more of the spices, but
Do we have any final questions for Taha before we all chow down on some delicioso goodness?
We actually have one on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are some daily cuisines that your mom makes?
There's a lot of like mix of vegetables and like chicken and lamb and beef, or like lentils. It really depends on what her mood is or what like the people that like my brothers or my dad or me like want to eat. It's a lot of like pressure on her too, because to like some people don't like some things, some people don't like other things. Yeah.
I'm curious what all the spices are, because it's got a really good kick,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like, and when it comes to like spicier things, like I don't, if it's too hot, sometimes it's too much for me, but it's really good.
So Taha,
And then,
we want to thank you for being a cultural chef. And with that being said, we give a gift to our cultural chefs.
Oh, thank you.
So if you don't mind me
Yeah.
crowning you, hold on.
there you go.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Taha. Thank you so
I'm
much.
gonna wear this whenever I cook and work next week.
Yeah. Hook you up. There we go. You got a little claw in the front. It's perfect.
All right.
So thank you again so much, Taha. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being our cultural chef. And we are going to chow down. Say bye, everybody.
Just want to thank you to everyone who joined and asked questions. Yeah,
Woo-hoo.
thank you so much.